Moving on, we are going to do about sanctuaries, national parks and bioreserve. Sanctuaries, national parks and bioreserves are established for protection of wildlife. So they are made for protecting wildlife. All these three words sound synonym but have some difference. Meaning when you read about sanctuary, national park and bioreserve, they all sound the same. Okay, you feel that they are all the same, but they are not. There is some difference. Let's get familiar with them. Sanctuary. Human activities are permitted within certain limit. So in a sanctuary, human activities are allowed, but up to certain limit. Okay. Domesticated animals can be allowed to graze after due permission from the authorities. So your sheep, cows, and goats and all these domesticated animals or home animals are allowed to graze grass after taking permission from people who are at authority or people who are in charge. Wildlife sanctuary is established for protection of some species. The sanctuary can be established by the government after certain process. So wildlife sanctuaries are made to protect certain species, to protect animals, and the sanctuary is established by the government. After doing certain processes, you establish the sanctuary. Periya, Chandarbhara, Itunagara, etc. are famous sanctuaries which are there. Okay, please look at these maps and study these maps. If you have maps, or either if you are able to get maps from the stationery shop, please get the map of India and do the marking of wildlife sanctuary, bird sanctuary and national park. Okay, and even do for the soil, which we did it in previous chapter. Now moving on, we are going to talk about the national parks. Compared to sanctuary, these are more protected zones. So national parks are more protected than the sanctuary. More than one ecosystem is included here. Ecosystem એટલે there are animals, birds and other type of trees and all these things. So more than one ecosystem are included. There is complete ban on animal grazing. No, not at all allowed for animals to graze over here. There is no centered around one species as it is in the sanctuary. In sanctuary, they only protect one animal, okay, or one bird or whatever. But in a national park, all the birds, all the animals, all the trees are protected. It is established through the coordination of state and the central government. So with the help of the Delhi government and with the help of the state government, national parks are made. Kaziranga, Corbett, Vedavadar, Marine National Park, Gir, Dachingan, etc. are important national parks. Please remember any 4 or 3 names. Okay. Bioreserve zones. These are found according to international norms. Norms etle rules and regulations. So bioreserves are formed according to your international rules and regulation. The purpose is to protect physical and cultural diversity of the region. What is the main aim? What is the main purpose? To protect the physical and the cultural differences found in that region or in that area. Besides all vegetation, insects and land of the area, the lifestyle of the people living there is also protected. So over here, not only animals, not only birds, not only trees, but also the people living in that area are protected. Special arrangements are created for research and training about bioresearch. So special arrangements of special care has been taken to do as much as research and as much as training as possible in these bioreserves. Research એટલે study કરવું. Okay. In such proclaimed areas, all external human movements are totally restricted. So in such area, okay, all the human movements are restricted. You are not allowed to roam around. The average area of such zone is larger than 5,000 square kilometers. So it's not a small area. It's a big area. Nilgiri, Gulf of Mannar, Great Nicobar, Sundarban, Panchmadi, etc. are considered to be the important bioreserves of the nation. The Run of Kutch was declared as a bioreserve in 2008 for the protection of the special environmental conditions. So 2008 ma Run of Kutch was given as the status of bioreserve. Okay, please learn these. Okay, in India there are total 18 protection zone, 103 national parks and 531 sanctuaries. In Gujarat we have 1 bioprotection zone, 4 national parks and 23 sanctuaries. Moving on, development process is inevitable. Inevitable એટલે unavoidable, something which you cannot avoid. Development is something which is needed and you need to look towards the development. But along with it, what is necessary is that we keep in mind all the ill effects of the entire life system while we are planning. So what they are saying is that development is something which is necessary, but also consider the fact that you need to protect these animals and have a development in a way that these animals are also protected and your development also occurs. Wherever one species is completely destroyed or is in danger, the result of such disturbances in food chain are far reaching. So you know what a food chain is, right? કે deer grass ખાય છે, deer ને કોણ ખાય છે? Lion ખાય છે. So it's a cycle that is called a food chain. Okay, so what are they saying is कि when one animal completely dies out or is in danger, the whole food chain gets affected by it. In food chain, every insect has a specific role. In a food chain, every insect, everything has a particular role to play. If a life is lost, the entire structure experiences disturbed. So even if one insect or one animal gets affected in that food chain, everything gets disturbed. If one species is removed from the natural system, breaks down in the long run. Even if you remove one animal or one species, the whole system breaks down completely. These effects reach man very late, hence we are not aware of it. So we get affected very late, and unless we are not affected, we don't care also. That is the attitude we have, okay? Those environment dangers which were following are the result of careless development over the decades. The reason why so much environmental problems have happened is because we have done development in such a way that we have harmed everything around us. If we have planned development, there will be no problem. Friendly approach toward the environment is needed in the present time. So what are they saying? Do a planned development, do a planned things, and take environment also into consideration while you are planning things. If you do that, development will also occur and you will save the environment also. Now, things to know. Hinotaro. The animal lives in arid and semi-arid regions, having alkaline forest and grassland, desert or semi-desert area. It lives in the greater and smaller run of Kutch of Gujarat. Okay, so this animal, Hinotaro, is found in the dry or semi-dry region, especially in alkaline forest which has more salt level, okay, and grassland where more grass is grown. So that is why you will find this animal mainly in desert or semi or half desert area. It lives, you find it in smaller run of Kutch in Gujarat, Bani, and in Nariyar Sarovar Sanctuary. It can be identified as it is slightly taller than the fox. You can identify it because it's slightly bigger than a fox, as fleshy round the mouth and has high ears. So it has lot of chubby or lot of fat around the mouth, and it has, the ears are very, very high. It hunts smaller birds and animals. Its existence can be known by its footprints. So it hunts smaller birds and animals, and you could know about its existence from the footprints of the animal. Footprint એટલે એના પંજાના નિશાનથી. Okay. Next is dugong. Dugong is an aquatic animal. Aquatic એટલે it's an animal which stays in the water, which stays in the ocean. It is seen in a very small numbers along the western coast of India. So it's found in the western coast of India. Coast એટલે sea line. Okay, જ્યાં sea હોય, દરિયો હોય, એને coast line કહેવાય. So western coast line માં you find this dugong animal. Beside, it is also found along the sea coast of East Africa, Southeast Asia Sea, and northern coast of Australia. So all these areas ma you find dugong. Sea grass and vegetation is the main food, but occasionally it eats aquatic animals also. So mainly it eats grass which is found in the sea. It eats vegetation, but it also sometimes eats small aquatic animals or small animals of the sea. It is widely hunted for meat and fat. So this dugong is mainly hunted for its meat and its fat. Earlier, this dugong was frequently found in the Gujarat coast, especially around the Saurashtra, but today it is rarely seen in Gujarat coast. So first you could see a lot of dugong, but now in Gujarat and in Saurashtra, but now you hardly see it in Gujarat and Saurashtra.